Fantastic news for Chiefs fans yesterday as four-time Pro Bowl running back Jamal Charles was activated from the physically unable to perform list. Charles went down in Week 5 last season with that torn ACL. He is expected to be ready for the season opener against the Chargers. Kansas City currently has 20-1 odds to win the Pro Football Championship. Max, what chances do you give KC to win it all?
Not very good to win it all. I think they'll be a very good team, and I think Alex Smith in certain respects is underrated. You know, he can really run. He makes good decisions. He protects the ball. There's a lot of good things you want from your quarterback, and he's quarterbacked the team to the NFC Championship game where the Giants beat them in 2011 on the road. That was the game where Eli had his helmet all turned around and turf sticking out and everything. And maybe against a lesser quarterback and a lesser team, they can somehow even get to the Super Bowl. But the next year he loses his job. And the reason I think we all have a sense that the Chiefs aren't going to win the Super Bowl is Alex Smith can't throw it down the field. They have the defense. They have everything they need. Jamal Charles, if healthy, is a superior talent. But not everyone's Adrian Peterson. Come back from an ACL and go right back to being one of the best ever. If you have a quarterback who can't throw it down the field in this day and age, very difficult to win a Super Bowl, Stephen A.
Well, you're right. It's very difficult, and I certainly don't view the Kansas City Chiefs as a Super Bowl champion. But can they contend? Yes, because it's not just about Jamal Charles. It's also about Charkandrick West. It's about Spencer Ware, who filled in admirably for him. It's about a guy in Alex Smith that really doesn't turn the ball over. Only threw 7 interceptions last year. I'm not impressed with his 20 touchdowns. I know he threw for 3,486 yards. I know he completed 65% of his passes. I know he had a QBR of over 64 or so. So you look at that and a quarterback rating over 90. That's impressive, but nevertheless, he's not that playmaker, that game changer. He's still a glorified game manager to some degree. He's better than that, but he just needs to step it up to another level because their passing attack was ranked 30th. And when I spoke to Andy Reid, the coach, the other day on my radio show, Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio, 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time every weekday, Channel 82, by the way, Andy Reid talked about how, hey, you know, we got to get better in that regard, and he intends to. So we'll see what happens. Jeremy Maclin being there is a plus. Kelsey is your tight end. He's no joke. You just look at them and their running game. That defense was still formidable last year, but Tamba Ali and, you know, and those boys, they got to get in Hall. They got to get themselves together. Got to get coming back from injury. We'll see what happens. I think they'll win the West. Yep. But I don't know if I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl.
So you mean to tell me if I would have listened to Channel 82 on Sirius XM between 1 and 3 o'clock, I would have heard Andy Reid on Stephen A. Smith's show?
That is correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
I like that point of order there from Max Kellerman. Well, speaking of the Chiefs, you have Jamal Charles on your fantasy team. You're going to need him to step it up a little bit. Yesterday,
I think he's going to do damage.
Yes. Yesterday, we held our very first fantasy draft here. We asked you guys to weigh in on Twitter. Let us know who picked the best team. And I just want to thank all of you who tune in every day to watch this show, our First Take fam. We love you so much. Thank you for being the voice of reason. Team Molly with 38% of the vote, followed by Team Stephen A. with 35, Team Max 27%. Your reaction to this, Max Kellerman?
Well, I mean, what's great about sports is they're objective. It's a true meritocracy. So everyone has an opinion until something actually happens. Then it all goes out the window. I love people ask me to stop me before fights. Who do you think's going to win? The fight's about to start. What do you care what I think? Who's going to win? You're about to find out. So I'm glad so many people think you're going to win.
Yeah.
But in the end, when I win, that's the only thing that really matters.
Stop it. I crushed the draft. Stephen A.?
My response is that Molly is a cheater. I've never played fantasy.
I've never played
fantasy football before. I'm allowed to explain. I've never played fantasy football before, and they gave me the list, and I thought you were supposed to pick a quarterback first. I did not know it. You were busy explaining all the rules, but you didn't explain that on purpose because you wanted me to pick a quarterback instead of a wideout, which you picked Antonio Brown. You just cheated. You just cheated. You can't be trusted when it comes to fantasy football.
All of a sudden, you want my help?
I'm not going to call you a cheater until and unless you win, and then I'm going to get on the cheater bandwagon.
You guys better start working that waiver wire. That's all I got to say.
When it comes down to it, I want to play. But, you know, it's certain rules and things that they need to go through that they didn't need to go through, you know, just to even start an investigation, you know. So, like I said before, I don't have a problem with doing it. Come to my house. Bring Roger with you.
Damien, bring Roger with you, okay? What do you think? Should the NFL have to come to him? Is he right?
Listen, I don't think this thing is too complicated, to be honest with you. Listen, from what I'm understanding from James Harrison, it's not like he's opposed to talking to the NFL. So you're the big bad NFL. Why would you want to have guys who are in the middle of training camp to fly all the way to New York to meet with these investigators? You're the NFL. Why can't you go to these guys' respective training camps if you want to conduct this interview and they're amenable to doing this? Then what does it hurt to have the NFL come to the players? I think it's just a big power trip. Oh, you need to come to my office, the principal office, for this interview, rather than saying, you know what? Okay, we'll make a concession. We'll come to you, do the interview, and try to clear this whole thing out.
Stephen A., you want
so
me
what
to
are you
go?
saying? I'm not quite understanding your position, Damien. Are you saying that James Harrison is wrong?
Here's what I'm saying. Why in the world should James Harrison have to go all the way to New York? Why can't the NFL come to him? If you want to do the interview, the man is in the middle of training camp. He's in the middle of training camp. If the NFL wants to do an interview, then what's wrong to come to Steelers training camp?
You know what? You know what? With all due respect, we all need to grow up. The fact of the matter is, Damien, of course, there's nothing wrong with it, except for one thing. They're the boss. He's not.
No, it's a power
trip.
That's the
reality.
It's a power trip.
Fine.
It's a power trip.
And
wait
a minute.
It's ridiculous.
Fine. And
it's ridiculous.
And
it's ridiculous.
All right, so it's a power. Hold on. All right, let me get my pen. So it's a power trip. One, right? Power trip. Two, it's ridiculous. What else? What else you got?
What else
I
got?
You got? What difference does it make?
It makes a huge difference. The man is in the middle of training camp. He's in the middle of training. So you want to interview? You want to interview with the man? You want to interview with these players? You want to interview with these players? You mean to tell me, is it going to hurt the league to have the people who are interviewing go to their respective camps?
I'm going to talk now.
Okay, go ahead and talk.
I'm going to talk when you leave. I'm going to talk now. I'm going to talk when you leave.
That's fine. I can do the same too.
I'm going to get to my point.
And when y'all want the answer, let me know.
My point to you is this. It's ridiculous. It's all of these words you want to come up with. We agree. And they're the boss. And at the end of the day, what you going to do? You trying to tell me, Damien, in all your years in playing in the NFL, you never found yourself in a position where you had to do something the bosses didn't want you to do? Who the hell doesn't do that? But you got to do it. See, this is the problem. Because we want to sit up here and we want to argue like we have this power. They are going to suspend this man for 3 to 4 games. He is going to lose over $1 million because you don't want to take a trip to New York? Really? Really? That's what you're gonna do?
Yes.
What sense does that make?
Yes.
We know they're power tripping. We know that the CBA has granted Roger Goodell with too much power. We know it's too much. And
no, Stephen A.
So
James Harrison and the player union here is not saying that. They're saying, in fact, Goodell does not have this power. The analogy, as I mentioned earlier in the show,
and where did that get him with the
difference between the cops knocking on your door. The difference between the cops knocking on your door and saying, we'd like to talk to you. You don't have to talk to them. If they arrest you, you got to go downtown. And James Harrison is saying, according to the CBA, which the players union, I think, correctly says cannot be unilaterally interpreted by the league. According to the CBA, if you want to bring them downtown, you got to have some evidence. So either the league is saying that an Al Jazeera media report constitutes enough evidence, or they're claiming that they don't need the evidence contrary to what the CBA says. And James Harrison saying, no, then any hearsay, any rumor that comes out about me, I got to fly to New York? No.
I need to go back to Damien from this perspective. You played in the league. I did not. I want to know how valuable the money that the players pour in to the Players Association is to you, sir.
How valuable the money is?
Damien, the money that players pay into the coffers of the Players Association. How valuable is that to a player? Because you see what's going to happen, right?
What's that?
James Harrison might fight this. The union's going to support him. As a result, the league is going to suspend him. The union is going to go to court, and more money is going to be spent based on a result that Roger Goodell ultimately is going to have at his disposal, because as unfair as it is, as wrong as it is, because the players did not successfully strip Roger Goodell of some of that power, he's going to have it, and he's going to suspend James Harrison. And your argument, James Harrison, at the end of the day is going to be, I don't want to take an hour flight to New York to sit in Roger Goodell's office for the day. I want to stay here and train, so that's why I'm going to cost myself millions of dollars. Willie?
Hold on, wait. Wait, but Stephen A., they did successfully negotiate that out. That's what's at issue. And furthermore, what's at issue, and the reason they will fight this, is that the courts upheld Goodell's more sweeping power in Deflategate. But again, in Deflategate, they gathered evidence and then could say, okay, we have some evidence, you now have to talk to us. In this case, they're saying we don't even need to gather evidence, you just have to talk to us. And the players' union is saying no, and we're not going to let you use that court upholding as a precedent.
I have Molly as a witness. My former partner here used to sit up there and make those same kind of arguments about Tom Brady with Deflategate. And I used to sit up here. How many months did I sit there, Molly, and go like this? You'll see.
Yep.
Why?
They gathered evidence.
Because at the end of the day,
difference.
the CB, hold on. At the end of the day, the CB, no. It was interpreted, the evidence was flimsy. It was a bunch of holes in Ted Wells' report. But in the end, what it came down to is even when the court said Roger Goodell shouldn't have this power, it's egregious. Here they alluded to it being an abuse of power. At the end of the day, the CBA is the Bible. And if you would leave wiggle room for it to be interpreted by the commissioner, he is going to be in a position to exploit it. That's
Therefore,
the point.
you got to fight him on
that's
everything.
the point.
That's why you got to fight it.
I respect your perspective there, especially the player perspective, but I'm with Stephen A. The school of thought, you do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do. Just take the flight.
According to Stephen A., we just lay down about the players should just lay down about everything. Is that what it is? Are you in the league's pockets? Are you in the league's pockets?
Damon. No, hold on. What?
Are you in the league's pockets?
No.
Oh, you did it now.
Disney pays him. We got to go to break.
Hold it. Oh, hell. No, we don't. We ain't going no damn break. Hold on. Let me tell you something right now. I have been a journalist for 23 years. I'm an equal opportunity offender. I tick off every damn body. Don't ever ask me that question again. That's number one. Number two, and more importantly, I call it like I see it, and I'll be damned if I'm going to change. This is First Take. This is what you're going to get, and I don't give a damn what anybody says. Point number three, at the end of the day, I'm talking reality. You getting emotional in terms of talking about what's right and wrong. I'm talking reality. James Harrison is going to get suspended because he didn't want to take a flight from Pittsburgh to New York. Damian Woody ain't in the league's pocket. Did you add some money to James Harrison's pocket? You gonna give him $1 million when he gets suspended? You gonna give it to him?
Well, listen.
He's
hold on. Wait,
that risk.
Well, listen. This is a debate show. I'm supposed to bring up counterpoints, right? So, I mean, you argue your point. I'm arguing my point from the player's perspective.
Yeah, but you're saying because I disagree with you.
No, that's not. No.
Pocket.
I don't mind
that's
you.
Not an argument.
I don't mind you disagreeing. I don't mind you disagreeing. But the point. But the tone that I'm hearing is like the players should just lay down because the CBA is what it is. That the players should just the players can't win.
The point that I'm making exactly. The point that I'm making is fight the fights you can win. Don't cost the Players Association, the players, and the money for something like this. Because you know where it's going to end up. It's another excuse for DeMaurice Smith and the Players Association to go to court. They're right most of the time. But the point is, it's not about right and wrong. It's what you can win. And if you cost the players money, that's a problem. And why? Because you don't want to take a flight to New York.
Well, I mean, listen, wait a minute, but this is crazy.
Sit the man's
so you win it. You
talk to him and go home.
So when you want to suspend somebody over a rumor. Now you want to talk about crazy. No. How crazy is that? You want to suspend somebody over a rumor.
No. I don't want.
But that's what you're saying. You're saying the league is all
I'm not.
But that
I'm saying the league is going to suspend him.
No, but the point is, according to the CBA,
I don't want the man suspended.
Right. But
I don't want him suspended. I'm saying that's what Roger Goodell is going to do.
And the players here, I believe, I'm not an attorney, none of us are, but based on reading the CBA, I believe the Players Union has a strong case here if he does suspend them, and that's why they're going to fight it.
We got to go to break, guys. More with the equal opportunist offender over there, Mad Max, Damian Woody. Appreciate you.